Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today we will continue building financial model for a Uber Lyft taxi business idea. And today we have a very interesting topic. We're gonna calculate the internal rate of return for our business idea. So what is the internal rate of return? Well, actually, internal rate of return is the discount rate which makes our net present value turn to zero. And the problem is that there are a lot of videos on YouTube when someone calculates internal rate of return. For example, this year has the investment plan has this value, then operating profit from year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 is like this, for example, and there are some internal Microsoft Excel formulas, and everything is done very simple in that way. But if we are serious, let's say so, if we really want to start this to calculate this more accurately, we will not be calculating yearly. So the step of our financial projections won't be a year. We will be calculating monthly, or some business processes maybe even weekly or daily, especially in agricultural projects. And if we will be calculating the business model yearly, we won't be able to see the operating losses during the first several months of operating activity, and that's why we won't be able to calculate right the amount of money that we need, because when you start the business, lots of things are happening during the first month, 2, 3 months, 6 months of operating activity, a year. And if you will be summing up the totals for operating profit for the whole year, you will see, for example, a profit. But if you dive deeper, you may face that the first 6 months of operating activity brought you losses. So that's why if you are serious, you will start calculating monthly. And in this case, if you are calculating monthly, you may be using some other ways of calculating internal rate of return. And one of these ways I'll be showing you today. If this way of calculating is okay for you, you may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video, as usual, I will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials. And when I completely finish this model, I will give you all the links on the tutorials in the description of this video as well. So you may watch them one by one absolutely free. So first of all, let's briefly run through what we did before during previous tutorials. So we have blue cells for inputs. We have different types of trips. We have mileage for each type of trip, duration of a trip, revenue per trip. We can switch on and off different types of trips from calculations. We have local and global coefficients for scenario modeling for mileage, duration, revenues. So all that will be needed very soon during our scenario modeling process. Then we start describing the portraits from revenue portraits for the typical week, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So here is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to Sunday. So we are specifying how many trips we make per day. Then we have local coefficients for each type of trip to make us increase or decrease the base amount of trips. We can switch on and off this or that type of trip from calculations for a specific day. And then we can switch on and off different days inside typical week from calculations. We can use global coefficients for the amount of trips we make per day. We can set up the limits for daily mileage, for the time being when the car is online, to make us believing in the world of realistic numbers. Then we started creating the algorithm for reaching the target revenues right from the moment when we start operating activity. Then we were talking about the car itself. So when this is the mileage, for example, when the car becomes old, when we are selling it. This is the price of a new car. This is the price of a new car. This is the price of a used car with this mileage. So we can adjust all these inputs. So this is the amount of down payment for the leasing, for example. This is the interest rate. This is the term of lease. This is the then we start talking about dealership maintenance. Here is the odometer mileage. This is the cost of maintenance at the dealership. These are the costs for parts during the operating activity of the car. So these are the months of operating activity. These are the costs for parts. We have global coefficients for dealership maintenance to increase or decrease it. We have global coefficients for parts to increase or decrease it. So then we have a plan. So here we specify what we're investing in, when we are investing in. These are fixed costs. Then we're talking about gasoline, Uber and Lyft commission, payroll, driver's payroll. So we have five cars in our fleet, and we can specify different values for inputs for these different 5 cars. Then we have some kind of a dashboard where we can name these 5 cars. We can switch them on and off from calculations. We can specify when each car starts its own operating activity and what type of financing we are using for its operating activity, whether it is a loan, lease, or we're using our own funds. Then we have a management company. We can switch it on and off from calculations. We have payroll for the management company. We have fixed costs for management company. We have an investment plan for management company. We have a loan. The loan can be linked or delinked from to the management company operating activity. Here we can specify the amount of loan, interest rate, term of loan, grace period for interest payment or principal payments. Here we specify when we get this loan. If it is not linked to the management company operating activity, it is separate. Then we specify the rate of different taxes. Then we are building cash flow statement. Then we are calculating the financing needed. Then we are talking about simple and discounted payback period. And now we are moving to the internal rate of return. So first of all, let's create a new tab. Let's call it internal rate of return. So first of all, let's put the discount rate here a little bit closer for us. So this is the discount rate. Then let's put the net present value a little bit closer. So this is cumulative discounted cash flow. Let me check it. So simple and discounted payback period. So 7.3. So this will be the net present value. Then we will create the line for internal rate of return. This will be nominated in percentages. Then let's create a table where we will put here on the left. So here, so these will be the discount rates here. Discount rate in percentage. And this will be the net present value. So first of all, the discount rate will be, let's say, 0. Or it can be some specific value, for example, 4%. We can, for example, make it as an input. Here will be the net present value. Then discount rate step. So for example, by the way, we need to get back, and this rate, this cell is no longer be the input. So I'm pulling the data now from there. So I'm changing the color. So these are the this is the formula at the moment. Then the discount rate step of change will be, for example, 1%. Let's freeze it. Now let's extrapolate this formula to the right. Oh, no, to the bottom, sorry guys. So let's create just, for example, 2000 lines here. So now what we need to do, we need to put here internal rate of return, to put here net present values. So here I will place the net present value. Then what I will do, I will select this table So I will select this table. I will go to data. Then I will go to what if analysis. I will go to data table. And here on the bottom, I will place the discount rate. Then I will press OK, and then magic will happen. So now we can see when the discount rate is growing, the net present value decreasing. And now we can see that let's say 77% of discount makes our net present value negative, and this means that the internal rate of return will be roughly 77%. So what we can do, for example, we can decrease the step of changing the discount rate. So now we can even do this. So the internal rate of return will be 76.5 percentage rate. And now we need to find this moment and put this value into our summary. So for that purpose I will be writing some formulas. So here, if this value is less than 0, I will put 1, otherwise 0. Now let's create the formula for this cell. So if this cell equals to 0 and this value is more or equals to 0, then we will put 0. The second condition, if this equals to 0 and this one is less than 0, we will put 1, otherwise 1. Let's close the brackets. And now let's extrapolate this formula to the bottom. And now we can see 1 starting from the moment when we have here negative values. Now let's test, for example, let's start with 80. We have 1 starting here, okay. Now we need to find the moment when we have negative value for the first time. So if this equals to 1, we will put this value, otherwise 0. This will be percentage format. Let's start with 80%, for example. Yeah, this works. And now let's write another formula for other cells. This will be if, and so if this value equals to 1 and this value equals to 0, we will put the discount rate, otherwise 0. So if this value, if and equals to 1, this one equals to 0. Now let's press enter, assign percentage format, and now Excel will be searching for a specific moment when negative turns to positive. So on the contrary, when positive turned to negative. Sorry guys. So this is this moment. Now let's go to the bottom. Let's extrapolate this formula as well. Then let's create a total for this column. And this will be our internal rate of return. So we can press equals, go to the bottom, so now for example we can start if we want for example we can start with 75%, adjust the adjust the step of changing the internal rate of return to this. So this is the internal rate of return. And so using this algorithm, we will be very close to realistic numbers when we are calculating our model monthly. So let's do it. Let's start with 1. So now we are very close to the summary. So if you find this video valuable, you may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video, I will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials. And when I'm done with this model, I will place all the links in the description of this video as well, so you may watch all the process, the whole process of creation these and many other models from scratch, absolutely free. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you next videos. Thank you and bye.